Welcome to Vintage SF. I'm Richard Rempel, and today I want to talk about people, places, and books for December 2025. But I also want to look ahead to 2026, highlight a couple things that will be happening in January, and one big event that I'm really looking forward to. And of course, I'll show you all the books, well, most of the books that I received in December. Let's start off with a Christmas card that I received from Bruce in Toronto. Bruce sometimes sends me postcards or cards like this, and it's very encouraging in his notes. Let me just read a little bit from this one. Dear Richard, thank you for your video, People, Places, and Books for November 2025. You can find that on my channel if you're interested. I do this each month. I enjoy how you present the variety and heritage of science fiction with such care and attention. All the best. And I wish you, Bruce, all the best too. Thank you again for these cards. One of the highlights for December was the release of Weird Frequencies, Strange Stories by Stranger Authors. 13 stories from some of your favorite booktubers, edited by Jake Swick. I have a story within here, actually a comic, and I talked about it in my last video. If you're interested, you can look up Bobby and the Spaceman. I think you're going to be hearing more about this book. I've read through it, and there really isn't any bad stories in here. I was very impressed with the skill level of the authors. This didn't read like a book from amateurs. There were some great stories, great concepts, and some very good writing as well. I'm sure if you pick up one, you'll find a story or two that you like for sure. Probably more. Another highlight in December was talking to Chris of Liminal Spaces about Pluribus as the first season ended. We really enjoyed trying to break apart what had happened in the first season and even speculated about season 2. You can find that live stream here on my channel or on Chris's channel. One other thing that changed on Vintage SF is that I broke apart my shorts videos from this channel. There's a video explaining why I did this if you're interested, but just know that I have now a sister channel with only shorts. That's videos of a minute or less about science fiction. I chose to go with a popular moniker with SciFi book shorts. I think it perfectly describes what the channel is about. As of recording this episode, there were 99 subscribers already. So if you're interested in that channel or any of the other things that I've just been mentioning here, I'll have links in the description to this video. And now, looking forward to January of 2026. I have a couple of buddy reads that will be happening during that month. Some of you have watched the live streams that I've done with Bart of Bart's Bookspace, Sam of Sam Not So Wise, and Whitney of Secret Sauce of Storycraft. Well, Sam is a brand new father, so he won't be joining us in this buddy read, but we're going to be taking a look at 2 novels of Werner Vinge, 2 early novels. This is an omnibus across real time. I had showed this last month. It's actually a signed copy by Werner Vinge. It contains the 2 novels, The Peace War from 1984 and Marooned in Real Time from 1986. So we'll be reading these in January. The other read that I'm going to do in January, I'm going to be teaming up for the first time with Andrea of Infinite Text to read a fellow Canadian author. Andrea is from Toronto. I'm from Winnipeg. And from Toronto, we also have Robert Charles Wilson, Darwinia, a novel of a very different 20th century. I'm looking forward to reading this with Andrea, and of course we'll have some sort of a presentation in January after we finish the book itself. The date of publication for this one is June of 1998. Now, the big event that I'm really looking forward to is I have registered now for PulpFest 2026, held in Pittsburgh, July 30th to August 2nd of 2026. They're going to be celebrating 100 years of Amazing Stories, a science fiction magazine, first edited by Hugo Gernsback. Of course, there's going to be lots of used book dealers there. We're going to see a lot of very valuable things, I believe. There's an auction at the conference, and we have lots of very interesting sessions. But perhaps what's the best part of it is I'll be meeting a lot of other booktubers that I've chatted with, including many of the authors of Weird Frequencies. I'm guessing that about half the authors may be there for this conference. So if you'd like to get your copy of Weird Frequencies signed, come on down to PulpFest 2026. I think it's going to be a great time. Following PulpFest, I plan to go up to Toronto and hope to meet with a couple of booktubers there, including Andrea, and perhaps get together with Bruce, who sends those postcards. All right, that's enough about people and places. Let's get to some of the books that came my way in December. I want to start off with a sale that happened in December. It happens regularly at bookoutlet.com. They sell remainders from the publishers. I picked up a number of hardcover books there for $7.99 a hardcover. If you're in the United States, that's about $5 United States. I'm going to show you two that I picked up. The first is a beautiful edition from William Morrow of The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Has some gorgeous end paper. A couple illustrations, but just, well set, well presented. You can see by the dot on the bottom here that it is designated a remainder. Now, something that I've been picking up over the last year, maybe more, were some remainder copies of Elric of Melniboné, and the second one, the second volume, Stormbringer. These came from Saga Press, and they're beautiful hardcover omnibuses. Well, there is one that I was waiting for, another remainder, of course, but it is Volume 3 of the Elric Saga by Michael Moorcock. So that collects Elric of Melniboné for me. Now, I understand there's one more newer book. I'm not sure if it really fits in with all these other ones. You can tell me if you know. But let's take a look at the contents of this one. So we have an introduction by Alan Moore. There's Book 1, The Dream Thief's Daughter. Book 2, The Skraeling Tree. Book 3, The White Wolf's Son. And finally, by John Davey, The Elric Saga, A Reader's Guide. So it was really great to complete this series of omnibuses of Elric of Melniboné. I can't remember if each volume was $7.99, but I know I got each one on sale, being remainders. So probably for $25 to $35, I got the entire set. I'm very curious if you know of other booksellers who sell remainders, books that the publishers are trying to move on at a lower price. I know that there are different booksellers for different countries. So if you want to, you can leave one for your country in the comments below. That might help some other people find some real great books, brand new books, at a really good deal. Next, I want to show you a couple books I got as a Christmas present from my son-in-law. The first one is a Glenn Cook trilogy. So this is an omnibus, the Starfishers trilogy, collected together for the first time in a single volume. Author Glenn Cook's Norse mythology-inspired space opera. Now, I don't want to read too much here from the back because it describes each novel here. And I really don't want to know much more than that this is a good book or interesting book to read. I don't really want to see what's potentially happening in novel 2 or novel 3. But the novels' names were Shadowline, Starfishers, and Star's End. At Christmas, when I was unwrapping these, this one was handed around because people were astounded by the artwork. Worlds Beyond Time, the sci-fi art of the 1970s. By Adam Rowe, with a foreword by Vincent DeFate. This is an art book. It takes a look at different artists through the 1970s. Each one is given at least a double-page spread, but it also looks at themes through the 1970s. This page here is for Bob Eggleton. Peter Elson. One theme that I found fascinating was skull planets. This is a wonderful, wonderful art book. I plan to do a book tour of this sometime in January. Thank you very much to my son-in-law if he's watching. I have 5 more books that I'm going to share with you. Donald A. Wollheim presents The Best from the Rest of the World, European Science Fiction. This is a DAW book, DAW number 268. The spine has faded on this one, but I found this very interesting because I know that there's annual best ofs from DAW. Those are the hardcovers, and if I move over, I've got a couple of soft covers there as well. I think this will be fascinating to read some of these authors. Let's just take a look and see if I know who some of these authors are. As I look through this list from France, Holland, Italy, Norway, Germany, Belgium, the only one that I recognize is from Sweden, Sam J. Lundwall. So it's going to be really interesting to read these stories and perhaps discover a new author that I may enjoy. I've been trying to collect some of the hardcovers of some of the more popular Canadian authors. Recently, I read some of the dinosaur books of Robert J. Sawyer. Here's another one. Not a dinosaur book, but Calculating God by Robert J. Sawyer. This is a Nebula Award winner. This one comes from 2000. I do like my omnibus editions of books. This one is another one from Michael Moorcock, The Nomads of Time. The character's name that is in the 3 novels within here is Oswald Bastable, and it's an alternate history. I've read the first novel. Let me just find the novels here. I've read the first novel, The Warlord of the Air. It was one of the A Science Fiction Specials Series 1 that I read perhaps maybe about 2 years ago, and it was a lot of fun. So I look forward to reading The Land Leviathan and The Steel Czar. The jacket painting is by Fred Lebitsky. I hope I said your name right. Whenever I see something by James Tiptree Jr., I try to pick it up. Of course, she was Alice Sheldon. Brightness Falls from the Air. It's a very beautiful cover. And the publication date for this one is 1985. Now, James Tiptree Jr. is generally known for her science fiction short stories, but this one here is a novel. Thousands of years in the future on the distant planet Damium, an extraordinary group of people is assembled for one single night to witness the spectacular passing of the fiery wavefront caused by the nova of the murdered star. And in the course of this one night of revelation, lit by the auroral displays caused by the charged particles, the lives of the characters are illuminated as they are brought into deadly conflict. Some will survive and some will kill or be killed on this one night of treachery, heroism, redemption. Brightness Falls from the Air. And our last book, a book I never knew existed, a book by Joe Walton. What makes this book so great? Rereading the classics of science fiction and fantasy. Cory Doctorow says it's a remarkable guided tour through the field, a kind of non-fiction companion to Among Others. It's very good. It's great. So this is a nonfiction book, a compendium of lively reassessments of the classics and half-forgotten gems of modern fantasy and science fiction. As any reader of Among Others might guess, Joe Walton is both an inveterate reader and a chronic rereader. In 2008, then-new science fiction megasite Tor.com asked Walton to blog regularly about her rereading, about all kinds of older fantasy and science fiction, ranging from acknowledged classics to guilty pleasures to forgotten oddities and gems. This volume presents a selection of the best of Walton's articles, ranging from short essays to long reassessments of some of the field's most ambitious series. This is copyright 2014, and let's take a look at the page of contents. There are a lot of page of contents here, so she's looking at a lot of works. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of contents. Just here on the last page, I see A Case of Conscience by James Blish, looking at Kim Stanley Robinson's Icehenge, Arthur C. Clarke's Imperial Earth, J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. A lot of very interesting books are covered here, and so I'm thinking this is going to be a lot of fun to read. I don't know, has anyone else read this book? I'd like to hear about it in the comments below. So there you have my summary for December 2025 and what I'm looking forward to in the year 2026. A lot of great books have come my way, and I hope to read some of them in the next few months. I also just want to thank you for watching Vintage SF. I really appreciate my viewers and their comments. Perhaps I'll meet some of you in 2026. Until next time, keep reading.